So we are live, guys. We are live. Okay, so while we're waiting for our co-host to join in, okay, I think the microphone. All right. Consola, you're welcome. Consola, share this live. Oh, share this live. Share this live. I'm waiting for our co-host to join in. He's probably having issues joining in. I don't know. So just share it. Comments. Let people know that this live. Just comments. We are live. So we can see. Consola, let me know if you can hear me. Just comment I can hear you so I can know if you can hear me. Let me be sure. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, comment. If you can hear me, comment that you can hear me. If you can hear me, comment that you can hear me. Let me be sure. So can you hear me? Let me be sure. While we are still waiting for our co-host. Oh, I think he's here. Consola, comment. Let me know. Mr. Tavershima, you're welcome. Just comment so I know you can hear me. And share this. Let's get more people here. Okay, let me bring him onto the camera. Okay, great. Mr. Tavershima.
Okay. Hey, hello, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes,
Nice to meet you finally. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? How was your day?
It's okay. Not bad. Not bad. Sorry, it took me a while to try and sign in. I kept hitting trying to create a live from my own profile and it wasn't letting me join with this. So I had to go and look back for the link that we had sent out. So
Okay.
that's how I was able to join you here. Okay, I noticed that we have one person already. Oyinkan Sola Boje. Sorry, I don't speak Yoruba. Sorry for destroying your name, but I hope you can hear me correctly.
I can
When you
hear you.
Sola, I want to be sure that you can hear me correctly.
Yes, I'm sure she can hear.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah, well, I guess if you can hear me, then any other person should be able to hear me.
Yes.
So, what do you think? Should we start since this is going to be recorded and left on our profiles, or do you think we should wait until some more people come?
Okay, let's wait a little, like 2 more minutes.
Let's wait a little.
Just 2 more.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, in that case, let's see if we can have some conversation with the people that are already here. Since we have two people, so Oyinkan, so why don't you put it in the chat? Okay, we already know what your name is. Why don't you let us know what line of business you're into and what you hope to learn from today's session? Okay, well, anyway, while we're waiting for her to type in her response, I'd like to say that this is a really important question that we're talking about today, whether we use emotions in sales or whether we go logical in sales, because a lot of people who start up businesses are not aware that there's an established theory and framework behind how it is that you sell. So you have people just starting up their businesses and they're trying to freestyle all the time. So whether they're wedding photographers, whether they sell cakes, or whether they want to be business consultants, whatever it is that they try to do, you just have a lot of people freestyling, and they don't realize that there's a method to selling. So it's good that we're doing these. We're looking at this topic today, and that we're going to leave this video on our profiles for a while, so that people who come across this can realize that it's not about freestyling. Yes, some people might have some inborn talent when it comes to sales, selling, marketing, those sorts of things. But for the rest of us who don't like the crowds or who are not party people, we can rest confident that there's a method to selling, and yeah, that there's a method to selling basically, and we should rest secure that it's all about learnable skills that people can adopt, bring to play in their businesses, and use that to move their businesses forward. Okay, Oyinka Sola has not responded now. She hasn't responded yet. I guess, is there, how do we, oh, there's no way to promote this stream now that it's live, is there?
I don't think there's a way to promote it now that it's live. I think it's just going to show on our stories that we're live.
Okay, how many people do you see? It says here that two people are live. Oh, okay, that too. That must be just both of us. Let me see. Sorry, let me send a message to Oyinka. Okay, okay, I've sent her some messages. I want to see if we can use whatever business it is that she's involved in as a case study while we're discussing, because I find that it makes it easier for people to grasp the principles that we're going to explore if there's a specific case. So we're not just talking theory, so that we can respond to whatever business challenges that she has, and then by extension, other people are going to be able to learn and then see how that applies.
I think she's into content creation, social media management. Um,
Okay, yes, that's true. I think I've seen her on some groups. I think she has a WhatsApp class. Hmm. So hold on, let me see. Wait, please just give me a few seconds. Let me see if I can skip back out, and let me see if there's a way that I can. Um,
Just hold on, we're still trying to resolve some issues. B2B construction, just hold on a little. I think you'll be our case study today, sir. You'll be the one that will coach on this call, help you to get results right now.
Okay, can you hear me again?
Yes, I can. Hope I'm loud.
Okay, sorry about that. I was looking for a way to see if I could share just a way to promote that this event is already going on. I couldn't find any.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this lady didn't respond while I was away.
I think there's someone into construction that is here now. Can you see B2B construction?
Okay, I'm trying to scroll through the chats. I can't.
Mm,
Okay, no, I can't see any
Check
messages.
that is where you see viewers like the uh, human sign. I think the fourth icon or the fifth icon from the left. There's someone there, should just talk to him. I think he will comment. B2B construction, just comment you are here. Comment I'm here. I can hear you, so we know that you are here. He's here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, B2B construction. Okay. All right, B2B constructions. Nice having you on board. Welcome to the program. Sorry for the teething problems that we've had so far. I disappeared briefly because I was trying to promote that this program is now going on live. Okay, so it's nice that we have someone here in the construction space. Is there anything in particular any particular question that you hope either Mr. Emmanuel or I will be able to address in this session that you're witnessing today? What do you hope to learn from this today, B2B constructions? The reason why I'm asking is because in the lead up to this event, we've been sharing different aspects of the things that we're going to discuss today. What it means to sell with emotions, what it means to sell with logic. If there's any difference, how do we create emotional connections? How do we evoke aspirations within our clients? Those sorts of things. So this topic that we are talking about today, selling with emotions versus selling with logic. There are different aspects. So I'm sure that something interested you, B2B constructions. So why don't you just let us know what that is so that while we are having this discussion back and forth, we definitely cover the things that you hope to learn. Oh, okay. All right. So you've responded. When you say, okay, B2B Constructions has said that he hopes to learn more about business in terms of building our society. Now, when you say building our society, do you mean our society as in Nigeria at large, or do you mean that maybe you're in a real estate group, a real estate forum, a real estate association, a developers association, that sort of thing? So do you mean building, developing Nigeria, or do you mean whatever forum that you're a member of, a business forum that you're a member of?
I think what he's trying to say is he wants to learn more about business in terms of building. That means the business of building, the building industry. He wants to learn more about that business in Nigeria. I think that's what he's trying to add. B2B construction, if I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
just let me know if not.
Okay, right. No problem. So while we're waiting for you to answer, okay, it means in terms of real estate. Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, since we haven't started the program yet, I think it's okay for us to have a conversation, the three of us, while we're waiting for other people to join. Now, one thing that I have to point out before we begin this discussion is this. A lot of people, when it comes to sales and business development, they just assume that it's a one size fits all and that you can freestyle. They don't realize that depending on the industry that you're involved in, there are different ways of selling because there are different contexts of selling. Now, traditionally, in the sales industry, we talk about this in terms of being in a simple sales scenario or being in a complex sales scenario. Now, simple sales scenarios are when you're dealing with low ticket items. They don't cost much money. Like when you go to the market to buy a goosey, it doesn't cost much. So usually it's low ticket and usually it's a commodity. And the number of parties that are involved are limited. So it's usually one or two people, maybe three. Because if I go to the market to buy a goosey for my wife, the people that are involved are just the seller of the goosey and then me. If there's any other person I'm going to call to consult, it'll be me calling my wife, have a quick conversation, how many mudus, which kind of a goosey, that sort of thing. So it can be limited and it's a commodity. Then also in simple sales scenarios, people are not concerned about long-term relationships. So the Egusi seller is not concerned about being my friend, although if she wants to increase her profits, it'll make sense for her to try and be friendly with me so I become a long-term customer. But really, all she's concerned about is give me my money, buy the Egusi, don't waste my time, and leave so that more market can come and buy. So those are some of the things that make a... Oh, and then the length of time that is involved. When you're dealing with simple sales scenarios, the length of time to close the sale is very short. So I go to the market, I want to buy a goosey. I'm going to be in and out of there in 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. The woman knows whether I'm going to buy or not, in and out. Now that's a simple sales scenario. So the reason why I'm bringing that distinction is those of you in the real estate space, you guys are in a different scenario. You guys are in a complex sales scenario. Because number one, let's look at the sum involved. For simple sales, commodity and the pricing is inexpensive or cheap. Now, for real estate, even when you're dealing with a commodity item like all these, what are they called? All these mass-produced estates, like in Lagos. I'm going to assume you're based in Lagos. So like in Lagos, Jakonde Estate. So excuse me. So like in Lagos, Jakonde Estates and all those places, all those houses are undifferentiated. So, it's not, they're not fancy. Some people might say it's commodity housing. But whether it's commodity housing or not, the thing is, buying a house is expensive. So you can see that it's expensive. Or not, even if we're dealing with a commodity, it is expensive. Or even if we're dealing with something that's commoditized, it is expensive. Now, the number of parties that are involved in real estate are a whole lot more. So there's you on the other end, then there's me, and of course my wife, because in this part of the world, a man is not going to decide to buy a house, without talking to his mom. Some guys might, sorry, I said not mom, his wife. Some guys might even want to go as far as discussing with their brothers. If the children are old enough, they want to discuss with the children. Sometimes they might even involve the banker because they're going to be looking for financing. They're going to be trying to source a mortgage or a loan. So in this case, you can see that the number of parties has started to increase so that you as the real estate person, you as the property developer, whatever it is that you're involved in, it's not just me who is important that you're talking to over the phone. You now have to start worrying about these other things. Is his wife important? Does his wife have a say? What kind of say does she have? What kind of housing are they, what kind of financing are they looking at? Do I know anybody inside that, in that organization, who can be like an inside person for me in the sale? So you can see that the number of parties has increased. Then, what else? Okay, number of parties. Okay, relationships. Now, there's desirability for long-term relationships because you, B2B constructions, you're in real estate. It doesn't profit you if you sell one house now and you don't get me to either buy another one later on or to refer somebody to you. So it doesn't profit you if you do business that way. So you're trying to get good relationships because you're hoping that over time I'm going to refer people to you, or that as my status in life increases and as I get more money, I'm going to be able to get more buildings, going to buy more property from you. So, um, okay, yes. So the relationship now, we're both looking at long-term relationships. Even I, the buyer, I'm looking at a long-term relationship because if I buy the building from you, I'm hoping that if anything goes wrong, repairs or maybe problems with title or things like that, that I can pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, B2B construction, you sold me a house, so this is the problem I'm facing. What's the way forward? So both parties want the relationship to be long-term. Then apart from that, okay, we've gone through price, we've gone through relationship, length of time. Now, when it comes to complex selling situations, the length of time is much, much larger. So for simple sales like commodities, egusi, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm out of the market. For real estate, there's no way that this deal is going to be concluded in 10 minutes. In fact, there's very little chance it's going to be concluded in 1 week or 1 month. Most likely, it's going to be a 2 or 3 month thing. So the first time, maybe I find out about B2B construction, I'll check out you guys' Instagram handle, or I'll check out your website or something. Your salesperson will try and fix a meeting. I'll come to the office, or they'll come to my own office. We'll discuss. You guys will take me for site visits. After site visits, I will still go and talk to my wife. Some other person might want to go and meet their pastor and pray on it. And all of this is not going to happen in weeks. So most likely, you guys are talking about months, and depending on the scale, sometimes it might even be years. Like if you're trying to develop an estate and you're trying to get maybe a single buyer to buy half of the estate or something like that. So the length of time is much longer. So in terms of real estate, if you want to learn more about business and selling, that's B2B construction. And any other person who is listening to this right now who is involved in the construction business or whatever business you're involved in, just realize that not all sales scenarios, not all sales contexts are created equal. There are simple sales scenarios, there are complex sales scenarios, and then we have to treat it as such. So if a simple sales scenario, yes, you can use your charm and charisma to just bulldoze your way through and collect your money. But if you're in a complex sales scenario, you have to position yourself as a consultant. You're going in, you're trying to ask questions, you're trying to figure out what is it that people want. So, Mr. B2B construction, if you go to Emmanuel because you're trying to sell him property in an estate that you are developing, it's not a matter of just going there and trying to sound professional and trying to sweet talk your way through the whole thing. You have to have a conversation with Mr. Emmanuel. You're trying to figure out what kind of property does he want. First of all, is he buying for himself or he's buying for somebody else? You see, are they buying to live or are they buying for investment? Because some people use real estate. Some people use real estate as part of the investment portfolio. Because the kind of conversation that you'll be having with Mr. Emmanuel, if he's buying for investment, is not the same as whether he's buying to live in. If it's because of where Mr. Emmanuel is buying to live in, or he's buying for his mother or his father to live in, you're going to be having a different kind of conversation. You'll be talking about things like the amenities, whether it is close to school, whether it's close to an expressway, the whether it has been hooked up to water board, all those kinds of conversations. But if Mr. Emmanuel is looking at this from a purely investing lens, you're going to be talking about something else. You're going to be talking about what do people call it? I think people call it occupancy rates. That's how long has the house remained unoccupied, or how many people are moving into the area. Those are the sorts of things that you'll be talking about. Occupancy rates, how many people are moving into the area, valuation, appreciation. The house is worth this now, but you can expect it to be worth X amount in 2, 3, 4 years when this part opens up, when that part opens up, because those are the kinds of things that Mr. Emmanuel, as an investor, will be interested in. That if I'm buying this house today, because I want to sell it in 3 years or 4 years, how much do I expect to make from my money? So there are lots of conversations that we can be having about this. And at the end of the session, I'll be talking about my WhatsApp coaching program. I mean, these are the sorts of things that you can hope to gain from these sorts of things. It's a paid program, not expensive. I'll mention it at the end of the show. So basically, if you're a member of the platform, you'll be able to have access to me every day to ask whatever question it is that you have about sales and business development, so that we can help you with all your challenges. So there's still a lot that we have to talk about. But if you understand that there's a difference between a simple sales scenario and a complex sales scenario, if you recognize that you particularly, Mr. B2B, you're in a complex sale, and that you need a framework that reflects that, if you understand that, you'll be miles apart from all your other people, because your other people, basically every day, they'll come into the office, they'll call out their salespeople, and they'll shout at them that you people are not selling. Why are you not selling? Go out and sell. And that's the end of the meeting. You would have shouted at them for 30 minutes and sent them out, but they are not yet equipped to go and sell your houses, to go and sell the property development that you people are, that you guys are working on. So just realize that there's a difference, and start looking for a framework that matches the particular situation that you are in right now. If you have any more questions, Mr. B2B Constructions, please let us know. And of course, if there are other people who are here as well, please introduce yourself, say what line of business that you're involved in, and what it is that you hope to learn from this session. Okay, it looks like we have gone 34 minutes so far. So I'm thinking, since this is going to be on our Facebook profile, because I saw something that said it can be available on the profile for up to 30 days. I think we can start, if you don't mind, and other people should be able to get the benefit of it by watching the replay. You don't mind?
You can just start.
Okay, all right. Well, then remember also for the when we're done, for you to please help me get the audio so I can put it on my podcast. So, Mr. B2B Constructions, I also have a business podcast. A podcast is just online radio, basically. It's radio over the internet, more or less. So, on my show, Sales for the Nigerian Business Person podcast, these are the sorts of things that we discuss 2-3 times a week, sometimes almost on a daily basis. So now that we are done with this part, I think it's okay for us to start. Okay, the first question that I have for you, Mr. Emmanuel, is just to tell us what is customer acquisition and how did you get involved in this business?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Actually, I'm really excited to because your really excited and reached out. Now we together. Prior to this was how the process to into your business, to work to all factors that you would find. So I got into about 2018. I have interest learning about online how to do business you just learning ever so quite consistent. It's an interesting actually plan because you can't hear me.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Emmanuel. Yeah, there's the audio is not very clear.
Is it better now?
I think maybe it's an internet thing because also your video is beginning to pixelate. Do you have two internet? If you have two internet providers with you, maybe you can switch to the other one and see. But if you're about to switch, just let me know so that I can hold the floor while you're doing that in case the video cuts out.
I'm not teaching you. I think anything is better than it.
Okay. Okay, so B2B construction. Can you hear now?
Can you hear me now? Hear me now?
Oh, okay. Okay, even Oyinkansola is back. Okay, Oyinkansola, welcome back. While you were away, we had a conversation with B2B construction. He wanted to know, he wanted some ideas about how we can develop his industry. And so we had a brief conversation about the difference between a simple sales scenario and a complex sales scenario. I'm sure that applies to your own business as well. But this recording is going to be available on our profiles, my own profile and Mr. Emmanuel's profile. So you should be able to listen later on and as a recap, and then you figure out stuff that you missed while you are gone. So Onye Consola, welcome back, and please send a message while Mr. Emmanuel continues. Please send a message letting us know what business it is that you're involved in and what you hope to gain from this session today. So let's try again. If you're having any difficulties in here, Mr. Emmanuel, just like you guys did in the chat, please let us know. Okay, so Mr. Emmanuel, let's try again. So the question was, what is customer acquisition and how you got involved in the business?
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
customer acquisition process
basically
of
the process of
your business.
your
So we
business. So we have
offer
all
different services
offer different
for
services
them to use
for
done.
them to use
We
done.
basically help
We
them
have really helped them
identify
with
what
the
it is that they
what
want.
that we want.
I actually
I
got
actually got
started
started
online
online
marketing.
marketing.
I think it's one of the
I
first
think one of
businesses I
the first
started
businesses
was
that
really this
really
was about activity
about
savings. So
activity savings
it was really
was really
popular.
popular.
So
So
using
using
online method,
online method
card, we start to create
and
awareness
awareness
because
language.
there was not really
So not
effective.
really effective.
I wasn't
I
advised to
was
go into
advised to
it.
go and
Learning more about what
learn more about what
actually
it is
people
to
do with people
do
and then
and
promote whatever it
so
is
most whatever it
you
is
have to offer.
have
So ever since
offer. Everything
that good business
that good business
failed because of
fail
lack of
because of lack of
okay, I think it's that
I think it's that
online marketing
online
and how
marketing
to get clients,
and
get
get
customers
customers
consistently.
consistently.
That was
That
how
was how I
I got into selling
did
online
it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. I must confess, I still had some difficulty hearing you, although I got that you said you've been interested in online marketing and these sorts of things from about 2018, 2019, and that part of what you do is to make sure that people have the right offer. Did I get that part correct?
not
Not
really. I think
really. I think
I hear myself
I hear
from
myself from
my phone or
my
hear
phone
that
or
hear
that
that can you hear
that
me?
can you hear me?
It's not very it's not very clear. The audio is coming through, but it's garbled. It's not very distinct. And then the video starts pixelating. So it's as if the data is it's like your bandwidth is not I think it's a data thing. Because like every time you move, the thing just breaks.
Okay, let me try again.
Let me try again.
Is
Okay.
it much
The
clearer? Or is
what
Okay, yeah. B2B construction is saying it's not clear.
hmm, what do we do? Okay, I think it's going
yeah,
to be clear in
I
the
think it's going
recording.
to be clear in the recording.
So
Probably we can
go forward and listen to
It's not
recording.
the
listen to the
volume.
recording.
Okay, do you have a microphone?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay, okay, just see whether maybe if you keep the microphone in one place. Let's see if that makes a difference.
Okay, okay, no problem. So is it much better now?
So is it much better now?
Okay, okay, yeah, I think that's better. I think that's better.
Okay,
Okay, so okay, let's go back to, yeah, you said 2018, 2019. That's when you got involved in it.
Yes. So
Yes.
Okay.
so bring myself to both online marketing because I think it's
Because
one of the first
I think it's one
businesses
of
I
the first
started
businesses
when I was
I
still in
started
school.
when I was still in
The
school.
business
Business
failed because
failed because
I did not know how to
we did
properly
not
do
know how to
marketing
properly do
to get clients.
get
But
clients.
even
Okay.
moving
Okay, your
online,
business failed because you didn't know how to get
yes,
clients.
yes,
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that's good. So that's what prompted you to start getting more involved in online marketing.
correct.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so that's what got you involved in customer acquisition.
Yes.
And okay, and then what does customer acquisition? What does that mean to you?
Okay.
Okay.
Customer acquisition
Customer acquisition
is basically whatever you
basically
do
whatever you
to
do
get people to do business with
to
you.
business you
Basically
from
whatever you do
video
to
that
get people
where you
to
get
you
to
so that you
you
can
so
solve
that you can
their
solve
problem.
the
So
problem.
it can be
It
online
can be
or offline.
online and offline.
Whatever it is that you
Whatever
do
it
to
is that
get
you
people
do to
to
get
your
people
place so you can help
to
them solve
help them
problems
solve
that they have
problems
in exchange for
Okay.
exchange for
payment.
Okay, so customer acquisition, whatever it is that you can do to get people to buy from you, whether online or offline.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so B2B construction and Coin Solar. Oh, sorry, not Coin Solar, Oyin Solar. I hope you guys were able to get that much, that he's been involved in this from 2018, 2019, and it's because of personal experiences where he wasn't able, where he failed in a business, and he realized that the problem was customer acquisition, which is getting people to be able to buy from you, whether online or offline. So that was the failing when he got into business. So I hope you guys were able to get that much. If you weren't able to hear from the audio, please drop a message here and let us know. But it's something that I have to agree with what he said anyway, because I started off in the wedding photography space, and after a while, I also realized that that was the problem. That the problem was not the industry or the prices, it was because I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to get people to buy from me, whether online or offline. And that's part of the reason why I proposed us having this Facebook Live, because no matter what you call it, whether you call it sales or marketing or customer acquisition, the goal is the same, and it's how do we get people to buy from us. So that's the challenge that all of us are all trying to solve. Okay, BCB construction, you said yes, but I'm not sure exactly what you're saying yes to. Are you saying yes, you were able to hear the audio now? Okay, so while we're waiting for either of you to respond, the next question, okay, when you say, okay, because I saw a post where you were talking about what you said in the post was, okay, let me look for it and read. Okay, you said stop struggling to sell with logic, sell with emotions, create connections, evoke aspirations, use visuals, share testimonials, and be exclusive. So it was that post that made me propose that we should do an Instagram live on this topic. So when you say don't sell with logic, what do you mean?
Okay. So
okay. So after
from
the
restaurants and
restaurants
marketing because and also from
and also
personal
from
experience
personal
because a
because
lot of times
a
when
lot
we
of
try
times
to communicate what we have to
create what
offer,
we have
we
to
try to
offer.
explain
We try
and
to
go
explain
into
and go
pictures, we try not to
pictures,
kind of give out if it's
if it's
what I'm
what
trying to get
I'm
into
trying to get into invest
doing online
in
marketing
online
to me,
marketing,
agents or the online marketing.
online marketing.
I, I would tell them things like
I would tell them things like this
investing in your
invest in
business,
your
you need to know.
business.
So it's just basically
So you're just
trying to
basically
touch
trying
on
to
the
touch
point,
on
trying to
the
let
point that
know that this is a good
the
decision.
good
But most
decision.
of the time, what's really
What's
happening
really
is not because
happening
the
because
idea is
the
done.
idea of this time
It's not
it's
because
not
all
because
this is a
all
good
this
idea,
is a good idea.
logic.
Logic.
What drives
What
action is
drives
because people
actions?
are
Because people are
emotionally involved.
emotionally
So
involved.
you are getting them to
So
actually
you are getting them to actually
a certain way,
a certain way,
they
and
now
then
decide
they
to
now
get
decide to get
based on the
the
logic
based on
of
the logic
more.
like
So
more.
you know,
So
but where the audience in the market is. So people actually buy on most lawns, buy. So for instance, if you buy something now, you want to buy something expensive, you want to buy a car or you want to buy it can be because you want to be able to feel the same way, make then be. You really might tell your wife, or maybe you tell somebody, I think you really need to tell them, oh, I care for now. But if you find this buy that thing, or you will not tell somebody, this is compatible. But you will use that logic to understand what you feel like about it. So, people are moved by them, people are moved by it. So you have to tap into that feeling. And one of the best ways to actually do that you get them to see it. One of the best ways to get them to see yourself, get them to see. So you can imagine how they will feel, or you can get them, you get to feel it, that be that they're angry about it, or they are sad, afraid. So those are different emotions. So you think which emotion for me to use in this conversation, even in your market, to be able to tap into an emotion. Because if people are not feeling anything you are coming, you cannot feel that any emotion. They want to not get into it. So one of the best ways to actually take action when you those conversations, whether it's to speak on art or to learn more, but what you do, you have to find ways to respond. It may not be always be happy, only be that, oh, I'm happy that you get me. Be the answer about different things now, or they are afraid what will happen if you don't take. Be able to find what are doing that are dormant and you want to bring it back. So that's the thing of logic versus emotion. So it's not like what is just that you have to use logic, the emotion, take action, and then justify that the going to take, like giving them the logic, how.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the audio was also poor this time around, but I was able to get some stuff. I was making some notes while you were talking. Oh, by the way, so if you notice that I'm looking away while you're talking, it's not that I'm ignoring you. I'm just trying to make some notes so I can follow and I don't forget anything. So you mentioned that you've been exposed to some material from Russell Brunson, and you mentioned someone else. I didn't catch the second name.
Sabrisubi.
Sab. Oh, I've never heard of her before.
No, no, Sabrisubi. Wow.
Okay.
Actually, the author of this one, like crazy. Come across it before.
Okay. Sell like crazy. Okay, I'll just make a note of the title. I didn't see the author, so let me see. Sell like crazy.
Tell like crazy. That's called Kong James.
Okay, so B2B Constructions and Oyin Consola, yeah, he mentioned starting off by being exposed to other people in the sales and marketing space. Russell Brunson, I think that's someone who is involved in online. I think he's the guy behind ClickFunnels, right? Is that him? Okay. All right. So Russell Brunson, he's the ClickFunnels guy, and then the author of a book, Sell Like Crazy. And part of what I caught in what Mr. Emmanuel was saying was about how some people, when it comes to sales, they are trying to explain in details about the product or the service, and how this is not a very optimum way to go about sales. And yeah, that to that extent, I definitely agree with what Mr. Emmanuel said. people assume that we should explain all the details, and that's the sort of thing that you see the average Nigerian do. Like back when I was in, when I lived in Lagos, you're passing Ikeja on that bridge, and you see somebody who is selling jeans, for instance, and he's talking to the girl, and he's like, that this is the best, that this is what is raining, that this is the trendy one now. That look, it is look at the quality. This leather is this leather is that. It is high waist, it is low waist, it is this, it is this, it is boot cut, it is slim cut. So that's the sort of thing that most people do. They are trying to explain the details, but that's not necessarily what gets you the sale, because people buy when they become emotionally involved, and that's something that Mr. Emmanuel has been trying to stress, and it's something that we can all agree with. And in fact, he quoted something that people say a lot in this space, which is that people buy on emotions and then later on justify with logic. It's not something that you might agree with right now, when you're new in the sales role or the business development role, but it's something that you get to appreciate later on. The more time you spend trying to sell to people. I think the example that Mr. Emmanuel gave, if I heard correctly, was talking about a car and how some people might buy because it looks good, but they're presenting, I mean, buy the car because it looks good or how it makes them feel, but they might be talking about logical reasons for buying. And he also tried to explain to us that there's a scope of emotions when it comes to buying, that it's not just all about happy emotions. Sometimes it's also about fear, or it's all about loss, getting people to see the good things that they'll benefit if they buy, or getting them to see the bad things that will happen if they don't buy. So those are some of the stuff that I was able to get while Mr. Emmanuel was talking. So I hope I've been able to represent properly what you are talking about, Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes, yes. That's the what I was talking about.
Okay. All right, cool. So I'll move on to the next question. Oh, okay. Well, close to an hour, so I think we should be getting ready to um, round up soon. Let's see. Okay, so how do you create connections, and then how do you pull emotions out of people?
Okay, so
Okay, so
the major
the
person that have
major person that have
been, this
this
emotional
emotional
was LeBron
the brunt and
and first
try
thing.
and face
So
me.
when it comes to
So very
self-esteem,
few set of the
first
first
thing
thing
in
in every
is on every market
is on every market party.
you are especially
You are
selling
especially selling
is that
that
you need to be
you need
genuine
to be genuine
with the other person.
with the other person.
You need to be genuine, like
You need to be genuine, like
interested in them.
interested in
And
them.
this is really
And
interesting.
if
What
you
I
really
do
interested, what
is
to do?
just
You
instead
can
of
just
making this deal,
make
they can
this
also
deal. You can also
get
get
if
if
you don't have this
you
foundation
don't have a foundation in
first of
your
all,
which
you
was
most likely will not be
likely
able to
not
close that.
be able to do
You
that.
must be
You must
genuinely
be
interested
genuinely interested
in the other person
the other
and
person
in
or
helping them.
help them.
So then the
So
next thing
then
that
the
you
next thing that you
what you have to
what
offer.
you have to offer,
So
and
you can
so
know when you
you
don't
can know
believe
when you don't
in
believe
your solution
your
on
solution on
you
your
can feel
problem.
it.
You can see it because
Subconsciously you
subconsciously
your facial
your
even if you know
facial even if you know that
aligning with what you are
I
trying to
think what you are trying to get
with your facial
your
expression, body
facial
language
expression, body language
will betray
will
you.
betray you. Uh,
So first of all,
so
be really
first of all,
interested
be
in
really
what
interested
the other
in what
person wants,
the other
not just what
person
you
wants,
want.
not just what you want.
Yeah?
Like
But
that,
be
but
really
be
interested
really
for
interested
that person.
for that,
And then
and then
another thing to draw
another
out
go out
ask
in
why.
ask
Give
why
you that deeper
there are
reason
deeper reasons
beyond the reason that they
beyond
told
the
you.
reason that they told you.
So they
They
might tell you the reason
might tell you the reason
I want to buy
I want to
this
buy
I
this
want
is
to pay
this.
ten
I
thousand
want to pay
dollars. I want to make
$10,000. I want
next one month.
to next
Ask
month.
why do you
Ask
want
you
to
why
do
you want to do it.
so before you can be able to
So
ask all those
before you can be able to
questions,
ask us,
you must have
you must have
established that
established
you
that
person that you really care about this
you really
person.
care about
You
this.
are here for
You are
them.
here for them.
Like guy,
Like
must be
that,
for
must be
that
for
big for
that is
People buy from those that they like, especially if the steel is a higher,
the more expensive
the
steel.
more
People
expensive steel. People
they were all had
all had
experiences
experiences
like the steel
like the steel
but
person,
even if you
but
wanted
even if you wanted
that
to,
uh, so
uh,
you should
so
look
you should
at
look at
and do that
and do
friendship
that friendship
on the steel
on the steel
conversation.
conversation.
Not begin to ask
Not
them
begin to
like
ask them to
how
like
why do
how
you want to
why
interview
do you want to
that
value that
why do you want to
why do you want
buy
to buy
out that
house in that
why do you want this kind of
you want
car
this kind of
like
car?
just
Like
it
just
more
it
it depends on
more it depends on
more
people more
because you won't know the end
because you won't know the end point
they are trying to
that they are trying to achieve.
because
Because
what you're asking
what you're asking
getting them to think,
getting them to
getting them
think,
to engage,
getting them to
getting
engage
them
them,
to talk.
getting
So
them to
if
talk.
the
So if
salesperson,
the
if you're the one
salesperson, if
talking
you're the
more,
one talking more, then
you are not letting
you are not letting
themselves. And people have
themselves. And people have
this
this
psychological
psychological
people want to know that
people want to know that
if you allow
if
them to
you allow them to
explain what really in their
explain
mind,
what really in their mind,
bring out those
bring out those
desires they have, get them to
desires they have, get them to explain.
they will feel
They will
heard
feel
and they
heard
will
and they will
consciously like you.
consciously like you.
They have a
They
bias.
have a bias.
So that's
So
how
that's how
we draw out
draw out
emotion. And then Brian
emotion. And then Brian
says something. He
says
says that
something. He says
before
that
you can get
before you
like
can get
you have to
like
educate
you have to
yourself.
educate yourself.
First,
Just
you explain
you
that
explain that
you cannot
you
give
cannot
what you don't have.
give what you don't have.
Don't
Don't
lie yourself.
lie to
That you don't
yourself.
have a
That
high
you don't
self,
have a high
you
self
have
you
a high
have
self
a
concept.
self concept.
It will be difficult for
It
you
will be
to
difficult
really
for you to really
care about somebody
care
else.
about somebody
When you
else.
really
When you
like
really
yourself, so
like yourself, so
this belief always
you
I
always
like
say,
myself,
I like
like
myself.
myself.
Like, so
So that really
so
leads
that really means
your
your
self,
self
your self confidence.
your self
When your
confidence.
self
Yeah,
confidence is
your
high,
self confidence will
when you
high.
like yourself,
When you like
other
yourself,
people, and when you
other
like
people,
other
when you like other
people
people,
like you
will like
in
you
turn.
done.
So that's how
So
you
that's how
draw
you
out
go
the
out
emotion.
to
You have
the
to build
you have
it,
to
you
build
must like
it, you
yourself, and
must
then
like yourself,
that
and then
that
that's
like you have for
that
yourself,
like you have for yourself, you will
feel out with the other
feel out
person.
with the other
Now,
person.
they really
Now, you
trust in the other
trust
person.
in the
They
other
really want
person.
to help
They
you.
really will
So it's not all
problem.
about the
It's not about
formula.
the
There are different
formula.
formulas,
There are
different
different formulas, different
different
skills, different
skills for
for
if you don't
if
have
you
this
don't have
um, this
um, this
basic
basic
background, that you must like yourself.
background, and you must like yourself.
If you don't have that
You
lockdown,
don't have
jealousy
that jealousy.
not feel
You
natural.
not
It's not
feel
feel
natural.
feel
Not
like
feel
you try to
like
manipulate you by asking
by
you
asking
questions.
you
When you can
question. If you
establish
can
it on
establish it
that
on
you
you
care
are
for them,
here
you want
for
to help
them,
them, you want
help
to help them
them,
get
you want to help them get
you're asking
solution.
them this
You're asking them to pass
question.
your
That's how
that's how you do it.
you get them to
Get them
feel
to
find
feel
involved in
find
what
informed in what.
it seems like you want to say
Seems like you
something.
want to say something.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Um, the the audio was also sketchy this time around, but I was able to pick a few things. So let me be sure that I heard you correctly. You spoke about being exposed to some ideas from Brian Tracy around emotional intelligence, and those are those are some of the ideas that inform how you advise people to go about creating emotional connections and then evoking the aspirations of um, of their potential buyers. And so some of the things that you spoke about being important, you spoke about facial expression, you spoke about body language, and some of the non-verbal cues that people give off. And that is what serves as a good guide to those of us who are salespeople, business owners, self-employed people. So like if B2B constructions, if you're sitting in front of a customer's in the customer's office, sitting in front of the desk, the facial expressions, the body language, all these non-verbal stuff whether the person is smiling or frowning, sitting back, sitting forward, leaning this way, leaning that way. All those things will help us know where we are in the sales process, whether people are flowing with us, whether they're disconnected from us, whether they believe us or whether they don't believe us. That those are things that we can read, and is also part of emotional intelligence. That's being aware of our own emotions, being aware of the other person's emotions, and then how we are relating to each other. And you also said it's important to ask why. That's also an idea that you got from Brian Tracy, because you need to get to the real reason why somebody has either bought from you in the past, or why somebody is interested in having this conversation with you, having this conversation with you right now. You also said it's important to show that you care because of the know, like, and the trust factor, that people do business with people that they know, that they like, and that they trust. So we need to show that we care. Overall, this builds friendship, and it also creates an unconscious liking or an unconscious bias in the buyer's mind. They now become biased towards us. So that if we take all these things together, emotional intelligence, learning how to read nonverbal cues, that is paying attention not just to what people are saying, but what people are doing and how they're behaving, asking why, to try to get to the real reasons, get to their motivations, try and show that we care, that this is not just about the money. We try and enhance know, like, and trust. We try and build friendship, and then overall, there's a bias that they now have towards working with us. So, is that did I hear you? I want to be sure that I got you correctly, and that I have summarized properly for any other person who was not able to hear. So, did I get that correct?
Yes, you did. And I
Yes, you
think
did. And I think
for the
one thing for the
audio
all the audio will be
I think it's
just the
network or the
network
record
or
have
the
everything
record everything.
for
Oh, okay.
yes. One thing I want
One
to
thing I want to just
that people
that
get
people
is that
get
the
is
whole
that
patient
the whole
pressure
patient pressure, low
and
body land
you don't need
is
to
not
plan
you don't need to
about
plan
your
about
face, how
your
you
face,
your
how
voice,
you your
how you
voice, how
um
you what you
what you need to focus
what you
on
need to focus on
having high
having
self
high self
and the way to have
and
a
the
high
way
self
to have a high self
confidence is to
confidence
like
is to
yourself.
like yourself.
You need to like yourself.
You
You
need to
need to
like
have
yourself. You need to have
self-respect. You need to feel
you
like
need to
you
feel
are
like you are
good
you
enough.
are good enough.
So, and that point
So
of
at that point
believing
of
in yourself,
believing of
your product or
your product or your offering,
you believe in it.
believe in it.
So, if
So
you
if
like
you
yourself,
like
then you
yourself,
cannot like
then you
the
cannot
other,
like the other,
because you cannot give
but you
what you
cannot
don't
give
have.
what you don't have.
So, liking
So
yourself is
liking
equal to love.
yourself is equal to love.
I think every person
So
loves
every person
themselves.
loves themselves.
But liking
But
yourself means
liking yourself means
doesn't mean you are where you
doesn't mean
want
you
to be.
are where you want to go,
That
that you are
you are someone
you
who
are
is
so focused
like
on
once you
like
have goals,
once you have goals,
you have tied
have
that you have
decided
resolved
that you have resolved
always um get to
um, get to
going.
and like
That's
keep
how
going. That's
self-respect will
how
begin to form.
self-respect
So
will
when there's this
become. So
self-respect,
when there's this self-respect,
self-life in
self-life
it
in
will
it, it will
automatically
automatically
so when you're talking to
when you're
anybody,
talking to anybody,
you tend to
they will
like it
tend to like you
because you are
because you
subconsciously
are
blaming
subconsciously blaming
you tend to
you
like them
like
because
them
you like it.
because you like
So
it.
you don't need to
So you
try
need
and
to
change your
try
voice,
and change your voice,
sound,
your
sound
sound,
down,
like
body
sound
language,
and
because
body
your
language.
body
Because your
will
body will
automatically
automatically
align with
align
those things that
with those things that
you like yourself.
you like yourself.
And because you like
Because
yourself, you like
yourself, you like
because you like the other
because
person,
you like the other
genuinely,
person,
that
genuinely,
to
that to
consciously love
consciously love you.
that is
That
where a
is
lot of people
yeah, a
work
lot of
on.
people.
First of all, work on
First of
self,
all, work on
inner workings of
inner
self,
work on yourself,
mindset,
because
before the
the
inner work,
before inner work,
focusing on the
before starting
external,
on the external,
abusing the sales
abusing the
tool,
sales
trying
to
to
learn to
learn about storytelling
learn
and
about storytelling and
first of all, work
first of all, work or you can't game of selling. That's this is your subconscious mind, what you are aware of, expecting. A lot of people go into the selling to close the sale. Well,
Oh no, I was listening. I was listening.
okay. So,
Mm.
so what you expect mostly in how you communicate your body language, yes, right? It will show and the perspective. You see that you invested, most people don't want to know. So you want to mirror the most that people in mirror what what we have in our mind, what we are thinking, so mirror of how we feel. So this sales is a part of feeling, a transfer of desire, a transfer of emotion. If you are not emotionally you cannot go there. So if you are in a place that you are in, even if you're not putting all your own personal business, excited about it, you feel excited about it, what you can, you can properly ultimately. If you feel like well, your prospects will feel. If you come and do all the state, if the inner your inner work is not aligned with what you're because your body language is different. Facial expression is giving your what you receive in your word is real. So you must be able to that inner working or let's say the inner game or self that starts from I think um before one that has to be sales. According to Brian Tracy, sales and right myself. Just saying that has a way of increase your energy level, your your self esteem. Right myself. So it's just from inside, from within to without. How it can be transferred to my father and father and brethren. I think being man that end point is there.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Emmanuel. Yeah, because that's something that I missed out in my summary. So yes, we should have a high self-esteem. We have to like ourselves because sales is about the transfer of emotions, and you're absolutely correct. So if I'm feeling nervous and I've come to the meeting, then I'm going to transfer that nervousness. If I'm feeling angry, then I'm also going to transfer some of that anger into the meeting as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right that we need to do the inner workings, the inner game of sales, so that we don't show up transferring the wrong sort of energy. And yeah, that's really important because in running a business, go through all sorts of things. You might have had issues with your kids in the morning, or maybe you quarrel with your spouse, before you head for that meeting. So these exercises that Mr. Imana has referred to, like that Brian Tracy recommends, like saying, I like myself, positive self-talk, things like that, really important so that we don't carry over all these negative feelings into meetings with our potential customers, potential clients. So now we've gone 10 minutes over the hour, so I think we should wrap it up because I think we've covered more than half of the questions that I wanted us to handle over here, and I'm sure it has been able to expose uh, um, people who have been here, Oink Solar and B2B, BTB constructions, and whoever happens to be listening to this replay by now, because we're going to put the replay up on our profile. So some of the stuff that we have learned, that we've spoken about here, the difference between simple and complex emotional sales, why emotions are important, why it's not just the other person's emotions we should be paying attention to, but our own emotions, because that has an effect in the selling process as well. So these are the sorts of things that we've spoken about. So for anybody right now who is listening to the replay, either on my profile or Mr. Emmanuel's profile, Mr. Emmanuel, can you please let people know where else they can look for you? That's if they're interested in your ideas, they want to know some more about you, they want to build a better relationship with you. Where can they go to from here?
Okay, so on Facebook, one in generally on Facebook, Emmanuel Uzoma at EMIOSIN Uzoma Emmanuel Uzoma and yeah, look for general skills and some other things important on specifically for real estate succeed strawberry double L D and strawberry succeed strawberry and succeed with a real estate real problem market for
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And then for people who would want to take a step further with me, like I mentioned while I was talking to BTB Constructions, I have a paid WhatsApp group. It's a coaching program. It's inexpensive. It's 5,000 naira for the whole month, where people get to ask me whatever questions it is that they want about business in general or about sales, and then I respond within a 2 hour window every single day. So members of the group, you just drop the chat, and then usually between the hours of 9 to 12 every day, I'll get back into the group. I'll respond with some text. Most likely it's going to be audio or video. That way I can respond very quickly, because I'm going to type, it's going to take a long time. And you can have access to those audios or to those videos. I mean, you store them for future reference. So that's it. So I have the WhatsApp group is, like I said, is 5,000 a month. If you are interested, then you can just send me a private message over here on WhatsApp. Sorry, not WhatsApp, on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Tavershima Ayede, and Tavershima is Tavershima, and then Ayede is Ayede. I'm hoping that in the replay that our profiles are going to be bolded so you can see, and then just click. But if you want to be enrolled in the group right away, then just send a WhatsApp message to 08064662140. Again, that's 08064662140. So send a WhatsApp message to that number, and you'll be added to the group right away. So thank you very much. Oh, sorry. The alarm has just gone off. I set the alarm so I'll know when we've gone over. Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel, for such a wonderful session. We hope that the next time that we do this, we'll have much more people on board. For those of you who are listening to the replay, this is the reason why the next time you see a promo, an advertisement, or whatever, that Mr. Emmanuel and I have another session scheduled. This is one of the reasons why you should attend, so that you can benefit from these things live and get to ask your questions, so that we can deal with your own particular situation. So is there anything else to add, Mr. Emmanuel?
No, I'm done. Thank you
done.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, so thanks. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to more sessions with us in the future. Okay, but I'm going to leave you to cut it, because I'm not sure how to end the session from here. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Bye.